Welcome to our channel, where polished lives hide dangerous secrets, and every quiet moment carries the threat of collapse. Here, we dive deep beyond the gates of Fairmont Crest, unraveling the power struggles, buried truths, and emotional battles that define beyond the gates. If you're drawn to stories where love is fragile, loyalty is tested, and one revelation can change everything, you're in the right place. Stay with us, because nothing behind these gates is ever as perfect as it seems. The week of January 12th to January 16th at Fairmont Crest opens under a heavy, suffocating atmosphere, where every relationship is pushed to its limits by truth, suspicion, and secrets slowly rising to the surface. What were once simmering tensions and avoided glances now escalate into direct confrontation, forcing each character to ask themselves how far they are willing to go to protect their own survival, their family, and the version of reality they choose to believe. At the Dupree Mansion, a place long defined by elegance and order, anxiety now lingers in every corner. Anita Dupree and Vernon Dupree arrived not as the commanding heads of a powerful family, but as parents struggling to keep their household from fracturing under the weight of devastating news. The revelation about Danny has shattered the resilience the family has carefully maintained. While Nicole's test results bring relief, Danny's positive genetic markers open the door to their deepest fear. Cancer is no longer an abstract possibility, but a looming and personal threat. Andre Richardson greets them first, fully aware of how fragile Danny's emotional state is. He attempts to delay the moment of confrontation, as if buying even a few extra seconds might soften the inevitable. But Anita is not a woman easily stopped when her child is in pain. To her, the intimacy between mother and daughter transcends circumstance or decorum. She moves upstairs with quiet determination, resolved to be at Danny's side no matter how brutal the truth may be. Inside Danny's private space, where she struggles to process a future that has suddenly become uncertain, Anita's presence offers more than comfort. It is a reminder that Danny does not face this alone. Danny's fear goes beyond illness. It lies in the possibility of becoming a burden, of shattering the image of strength she has built for herself. In the silence they share, the bond between generations of the Dupree family becomes painfully clear. Elsewhere in the city, the atmosphere shifts dramatically. Uptown becomes a temporary refuge for Ashley Morgan, a place where she can momentarily escape the relentless pressure of her profession and the loneliness that has followed her for months. After so long trapped in the sterile rhythm of hospital corridors and responsibility, Ashley begins to feel desired again, alive in a way she had almost forgotten. Grayson Perez's presence brings a spark of excitement, a reminder that romance and spontaneity may still exist in her life. Yet beneath the playful surface, Ashley carries deep emotional fractures. This connection is not merely a flirtation, it is a test of whether she is still allowed personal happiness while so many around her face life-altering battles. Her excitement is laced with an unspoken guilt, foreshadowing that this momentary escape may not last. Back at Bill Hamilton's office, suspicion thickens the air. Once confident in his control over every situation, Bill now feels that control slipping away. Haley, his young wife, stands before him as an unsettling question rather than a source of comfort. What should be a simple gesture of care is reinterpreted through fear, reflecting Bill's growing anxiety that he is losing authority over both his body and his mind. For Bill, accusing Haley is not solely about his health, it is about his inability to distinguish concern from conspiracy. The line between reality and nightmare blurs, leaving him uncertain whether he is responding to truth or surrendering to paranoia fueled by vulnerability. Meanwhile, the hospital becomes the emotional epicenter for Naomi Hawthorne. Endless blood tests have already drained her resilience, but this time carries a different weight. This is no longer just about her, it is about her family's future. When Naomi and Chelsea embrace, their moment of closeness represents more than comfort. It is a shared fear, a silent question of whether one of them will follow Danny down the same terrifying path. Their bond offers rare unity in a world increasingly fractured by fear and uncertainty. Yet that same closeness amplifies the stakes, as the results ahead will redefine not only their lives, but the nature of their relationship. In a darker corner of the city, tension sharpens between Leslie and Joey Armstrong. Leslie deliberately provokes him, invoking Vanessa McBride with calculated precision. For Joey, the name is more than a memory. It is a vulnerability he has fought to bury. His reaction reveals restrained fury and a warning that he is not a man to be tested without consequence. Joey's departure is not retreat, but containment. His threat lingers, heavy with implication, suggesting he has crossed dangerous lines before and would do so again if pushed. That danger deepens when Joey later appears in Bill's office. His presence disrupts the illusion of neutrality, signaling that alliances and power structures are shifting. Bill senses opportunity in the chaos, his brief smile reflecting the instincts of a man who thrives on turning turmoil into leverage, even if it means stepping into deeper trouble. All of these tensions converge in Leslie's hotel room, where the stakes escalate dramatically. Detective Marcel Malone's presence transforms the private space into a psychological battleground. With a gun in her hand, Leslie asserts control, not merely over one individual, but over a world she believes has underestimated her for far too long. The moment exposes how thin the line has become between instability and deliberate calculation. The question hangs unanswered. Is this a bluff or proof that Leslie is prepared to cross the point of no return? And if a shot is fired, who will truly pay the price? The week at Fairmont Crest closes in haunting silence. Secrets remain partially hidden, accusations unresolved, threats suspended in the air like a held breath. As the hotel room door closes, certainty disappears. What lies ahead may be revelation, or a tragedy no one can stop. As this chapter closes, Fairmont Crest stands quieter than before, not because the danger has passed, but because it is waiting. Every character we followed now carries a secret heavier than the last scene they appeared in. Accusations remain unanswered, motives stay deliberately obscured, and trust continues to erode beneath carefully controlled smiles. What looks like calm is only the pause before impact, the breath held just before everything fractures. The choices made this week do not end here. They linger, spreading through relationships like invisible cracks, weakening foundations that once seemed unbreakable. Fear has taken root in places where certainty used to live, and loyalty is no longer guaranteed. Not between lovers, not between siblings, not even within families who once believed blood was stronger than truth. Every silence now feels intentional, every glance loaded with meaning, every act of kindness shadowed by suspicion. What makes this moment truly dangerous is not the threats we can see, but the ones still forming in the dark. Power is shifting quietly, desperation is hardening into resolve, and the line between survival and destruction grows thinner with each passing second. Some will fight to protect what they have, others to reclaim what they lost, and a few may decide that burning everything down is easier than losing control. Beyond the gates, consequences are never contained. One decision sets off another, and soon no one can trace where it all began. The past refuses to stay buried, the future feels increasingly uncertain, and the present is charged with a tension that promises fallout. The question is no longer if something will break, but who will be standing when it does. So don't turn away yet. What comes next will test limits, expose hidden loyalties, and force every character to confront the cost of their choices. Because in Fairmont Crest, the most dangerous moments are never the loud ones. They're the quiet seconds right before everything explodes. Stay with us. The gates are still open, and the story is far from over.